I think we finally got all of the parts we need to get this fixed up. Man, it's been like almost a week and a half since our last video when we posted this. And man, we've just been trying to find wheels. Who knew it would be this hard to find some wheels? But we finally got some wheels. You guys will see what they are later if you guys didn't already see it in the thumbnail. But we've got a bunch of other stuff. I know, I said I'm not gonna do a lot of maintenance, but for me, it just snowballs every freaking time, every time. Got a whole box of parts. So now we've got it on the lift, finally. We're gonna lift it up and just start working away, get all that stuff taken care of. Hopefully, the control arms are good. I bought them preventatively just in case because I did feel like a shimmy in the steering wheel. So we'll see how that goes. But hopefully we can save some money and those are good. And unfortunately, I'm kind of matching the car today. Pretty raggedy. Had a lot of stuff going on the past week and a half. Had my wisdom teeth pulled out in September of last year. Apparently, I had a piece of a tooth left or a bone sliver or something. My whole jaw was swollen up. It's still swollen. They had to go in there, they cut it out. Man, it's been a long week. I could barely even talk. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to do something about this beard and gotta get myself back together. So a few updates. As you can see, trimmed myself up. But anyways, quick update. We've got the rear brakes already done. Finally got off of those hideous wheels. So we're making already a huge amount of progress just taking those wheels off. But one thing, so all of the wheels had hub-centric rings on them. And as you can see, this is how they came out. They were all rusted on there. So I just had to tear them up. So we got the back ones off. We got this one off. We still have the other front. What I'm doing right now, I'm just gonna do the brakes, finish out the brakes, then we can start on the suspension. So one thing I did notice, which I kind of knew when we traded the car for the Suburban that we used to have. When we got this car, the owner had told us that they had replaced the front struts. So these are some Monroe OE Spectrum, whatever, the one that come from like AutoZone, Advanced Auto Parts and stuff like that. Those are struts on here. If I do end up keeping the car, obviously I'm gonna not have stock suspension on it anymore. It'll be lowered. Most likely, like what's fitting on these 7 Series is air ride. Just slam down on the big body cars, just slam down. They just look so good. So if I do end up keeping the car, I'll definitely be changing all the suspension out again anyways. So for right now, I just want to get rid of that steering wheel shimmy and just make sure it's safe to drive on the road. So the struts and shocks, they're going to be all right for right now. We're just going to get these brakes changed out, then do the rest of that suspension. So much better. Well, this is not rusted as bad as the other ones. Man, those are some heavy rotors. All right, so we're getting the control arms off now. One thing I forgot to do is I forgot to put the key in the ignition to release the steering lock. So the reason you want to do that is a little trick when you're doing these control arms on the E38, E39s, especially the V8s. What you have to do is you have to actually turn the steering wheel to get this control arm bolt out that's all the way back here. Because as you can see, the steering is in the way from getting that bolt out completely. So there's like a perfect little sweet spot where the steering, the center link goes, where you'll be able to get the bolt out. Without that, there's no way to get it out unless you remove all this stuff. So right now I'm just gonna get these two control arms, the lower front control arms replaced. Once we have those replaced, then I'll bring the car back down and release that steering lock. We're also replacing the sway bar links on here because they're pretty toast. Down here it's fine, but up there it's completely torn out. You can see how bad look at that, oh my God. It's like eating away at this right here. Because this whole ball joint is bad. This whole section is missing. Can't find my pickle fork, so we're just gonna use this ball joint separator. Hopefully it fits. That's another thing with these E38s and E39s. The strut assemblies are so long that you don't have that much space to work with down here. Okay, that was easy. Damn, this thing got torn up. It was only a matter of time before this whole ball joint probably separated. That's the thing with these E38s, E39s, they're so heavy that once one control arm bushing starts going, it's gonna wear out the rest so quickly. That's why they're so expensive on suspensions. They actually do go through suspensions quite often. And I mean, especially when, like I said, when one component goes, the rest just start wearing out that much more quicker. And once you lower these cars, which is when they look the best, it even takes more of a toll on all the suspension. ASMR? No? All right, let's get out this sway bar link next. Now here's this one. The sway bar links, I don't think they're actually that bad yet, but once these boots tear, it's only a matter of time for all that dirt and debris starts getting in there and wearing it out. And since we're already doing it, might as well just knock it out. Always losing my nuts. So you don't usually want to use impacts when it comes to these sway bar links. I would, but I'm not going to. Actually, I wouldn't. I don't know what I'm saying. It's late. I'm ready to go to sleep. But we gotta get this done. Let's get the new. I really hope that I'm able to tighten this without having to counter hold the ball joint, because there's no way we're gonna fit anything in there. And now one thing with this, the control arms, you do have to preload it when you tighten this final bolt in. The ball joints don't matter because they're ball joints, so they can move around, you know. But this, you can see how it's like, it's got these little, I don't even know what they're called, it's like, I guess, serrated. So when this actually gets tightened down, you want it to be at normal suspension, like you want normal preload on it. So you want the suspension resting, so the weight of the car resting on there when you tighten this. If you don't do that, and let's say I just put it up right now and I tighten it as it is, when the suspension actually, the weight of the car sits on it, it's already going to put tension on this bushing. And if you think about it, most of the time your car is sitting, it's going to be, you know, with the car's weight on it. So you don't want all that tension on there because that's not how it's meant, or that's not how it's designed. Now, if these were like monoball joints or even polyurethane joints, then it doesn't matter, because polyurethane you don't really have to preload ever, mainly because it's not serrated. It's got 3 pieces, so separate parts that, you know, control it. And if it was a monoball, it would be pretty much like a ball joint, so then you wouldn't have to preload it either. But with it being just full on rubber like this, you have to make sure it's preloaded. And the way I like to do it, preloading is a lot easier when you have it on ramps or something like that, because it's easier to just set the car down, you still have enough space underneath it. When you have it on a lift, what I usually do is I actually put the wheels back on, I put some spare wheels or get some really like tall blocks, and you let the lift down, let the whole body weight rest on it, and you still have enough space to get underneath there. Now they do make special things, like special stands that you would bolt on. Instead of putting the wheels on, you put those stands on there, and then you bring the car down, and then it'll rest on those stands and the body weight will be on it. But I don't have that, so you make do with what you got in most cases. In some cases, you get the special tools. Like when you're doing some like delicate engine work, don't skimp out on the special tools. But stuff like this where you can actually like get by, it's okay. Oh man, it started spinning. There's one way to combat that spinning is you actually put pressure underneath. So let me see if I can just push it with my hand and see if that works. Nope. We're gonna have to counter hold it most likely. There is one way. Let me try something. So use one of your screwdriver bits. This is a 6mm hex. See if you can get that in there. Come on, please. Oh my God, really? Even this one fit? Never mind, that's not gonna work. So my method didn't work. We had to lower the whole steering knuckle and all of that. So I'm taking off the bolt that pinches the strut together. That should be enough. More. There we go. So I went ahead and did the driver's side lower front control arm and the sway bar link as well. Brought the car down, got the steering unlocked so we could do these lower rear control arms. Now, I'm trying to finish up this car because like I said, we are giving it to a family member to drive. So I'm actually really excited though. Once all this stuff is done, the car's gonna feel so tight again, especially with the new wheels. I can't wait to see how it looks. And then, I'm gonna be like, man, maybe I should keep it. I'll give them the wagon to drive. But no, we just wanna get this car finished up. We've got a lot of other stuff going on. I'm so excited. We're actually going to the BMW Invasion event in Orlando, Florida, which is like the February 19th. It's gonna be that whole weekend pretty much. I have a pretty good feeling all of the BMWs from like mostly the East Coast are all gonna be there. It's gonna be a lot of social media people there as well. We are super excited, but we've gotta do some work on the car that we're taking. We're probably gonna be taking Selena's LS swapped E46, but the last time we actually took it on a trip, which was our SEMA trip, where we drove it all the way to LA, Vegas, then LA, and then drove it all the way back. We ran into a couple of issues, mostly cosmetic, and then recently, one of the O2 sensors, the wideband O2 sensor went out on there, and I'm thinking it's the sensor, but it could be something else as well. So we need to get all of that sorted out, and then we can hit the road. So Orlando's about 8 to 9 hours away from us, and I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a lot of people going from the Charlotte area, so hopefully we can tag along with a caravan. But Selena's brother is also gonna be going with us. And there's a whole nother story about what will happen with that. So he has that ZHP. I'm not sure if you guys remember, but he has a 330i ZHP, and it got totaled pretty much last week. And BMW Invasion is only a couple of days away now. So we have to somehow, hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get it untotaled so he can drive that with us. So we'll see. There's a lot of stuff going on. Pretty stressful, but hey, I kind of like the stress and chaos. It gets me going. I mean, a lot of people don't like it. I know a lot of people that get really pretty shut down once they get in stressful situations. For me, it just pushes me to keep going. Like I just put my brain on autopilot and I just tone everything else out and I'm just going, you know what I mean? And that's why we're just going with this. Like I wasn't even talking the first part of this whole video, and that was also due to it was being late at night. It's a new day. We had to take a break. We had to get some Z's. And now we're back at it. As you can see, I had my morning coffee. I didn't used to be a coffee drinker, but I think what happens is you get in your 20s and all that youthful energy you had in your teens, somehow you just wake up one day and it's all out the window. For me, I know what happened. For me, California happened. If you guys go look back at our old vlogs, you'll see what happened and what turned me into a coffee drinker. But I'm not complaining. One coffee a day is not bad, right? One cup of coffee keeps the doctor away. That's what they say, I think. But let's get these control arms done, and then let's go for a test drive with those new wheels. Ooh, man. So we got both of the ball joint section of the control arms unhooked. Now we gotta find the sweet spot. Once I get this bolt loosened up for the actual control arm that goes to the subframe, once I have that loosened up, we have to find this sweet spot in the steering will allow that bolt to come out. All right, let's see if we can get this off. Wait, that's tightening. That's not the sweet spot. Let's see if I turn it. No? There we go. All right, now let's see if we can get that bolt out. Okay. Oh, maybe we don't need to take the whole bolt out. Now, we gotta release that ball joint. And we're in. Now I just gotta find the nut. I wasn't even trying to do anything with that one. It just happened. But seriously, where did I put the nut? Over here. The control arms are done. Now it's finally time to see the wheels. Here they are, Style 95s, as I had said in the last video. These are kind of beat up, which I'm not too worried about. They've got decent tires. That was the main thing that I was looking for. And I mean, they just, no bends, no cracks. They look good. The usual way to tell if the wheels are probably gonna be bent or cracked depends on what they were put on. A lot of people put these Style 95s on normal E90s, even E46 3 Series. When they do that, they have to run some rubber band tires. And when you run those rubber band tires, any pothole or anything like that, those wheels are gonna get damaged. So these just have a bunch of curb rash on most of them. They are the staggered set, but they came right off of a 7 Series, so we should be good to go. So excited to put these on, and I've always wanted these wheels. This is my first set of Style 95s. So excited, but I'm even more excited to see how they look on there. Let's get them on. So here I am just preloading all the suspension, getting everything torqued down, and then we can lift it back up, double check everything one more time. Then it's finally off the lift. This thing needs some bags. Look at this. It's like we're about to go off-roading. But imagine with the lowered, oh my God. All right, let's get these trunk struts changed because it doesn't hold it at all. And imagine you're trying to get something out of the trunk, and next thing you know, doink. It's happened to me. That's how I know when I was taking the battery out. But yeah, so trunk struts, even hood struts, simple, very easy. On these, they are a little bit different though. So they have this little attachment that slides over. So I've never actually changed them on the E38. So we're about to find out. So I think this one has like one of those spring clips kind of thing. So let me see if I can pull that off first. Get the clips off. Then this one, the bottom one's very easy. That's just a standard BMW hood strut. All right, let's go. All right, it's staying up. Let's see. Oh, it's really hard to close now. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But I don't like how it shuts so hard, especially with this has like the electronic trunk latch where you're only supposed to set it and then it actually electrically brings it down and latches it shut. So we don't want to break that. All right, hood struts, and then we're out of here. We finally got everything finished up on here. The trunk struts, hood struts, all that suspension stuff, brakes, and these new wheels. I'm super excited to see how it's gonna drive. So let's take it out on the road. We'll check the tire pressures, all that as well, and then let's see how everything handles. So we've got the brakes bedded in, and the car feels amazing. No more shimmying anywhere. The tires feel okay. I do feel a little bit of vibration from the front. That could just be the tires out of balance. But like all the steering wheel shimmy, all that's gone. I mean, I actually feel comfortable letting anybody drive this at this point. The brakes feel great. Obviously they should. All brand new rotors and pads are all around. So I think car is ready to go, honestly. I mean, I like how the wheels and everything look. We'll show you guys the final product here in a little bit. I'm glad we did all of that, because before that, the steering wheel would shimmy whenever you get to like 40, 45 miles per hour. Every time you would brake, it would shimmy. I knew the rotors were probably warped, and those control arms looked pretty bad as well. So it's good that we did all of that, and now we're pretty much on the final stretch. Just finished some stuff up. Gotta go get some food, because you know we're kind of hungry too. And after that, we'll go deliver the car, and this car is out of here.